Hello, everybody. Let's get started. Welcome to this educational series where I'm going to tell you about submaximal fitness testing, and I also have the pleasure to present our brand new fitness testing feature. Let's go. Shortly about myself. So my name is Joel Wenning, and I work as a customer success manager here at Firstbeat, making sure with my team that our customers get most out of the data and have the best guidelines and practices to implement physiological data in their daily work. My background is in exercise physiology from the University of Jyväskylä. On today's agenda, we have why submaximal fitness testing matters, how to implement it effectively, and then, of course, I'm going to tell you that how our brand new fitness test feature makes the entire process easier and much more efficient. Then I would like you to answer the first question, which is, what is the biggest challenge with submaximal fitness testing in your team? And you have 4 answers to choose from. Is it too time-consuming, laborious, reliability and validity of the data, or then the result analysis, or something else? So thank you for the answers. I will share the results with you. So the majority of the results were that it's too time-consuming / laborious. So that was 41% of the answers. Reliability and validity of the data was 27% and result analysis 27%. And then only 5% thought that it was something else as those 3 options before. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see if we have something for those. So why submaximal fitness testing matters? First thing is that you want to make sure that the test you are doing is reliable and valid. And improvements in submaximal fitness testing reflect improvements in cardiorespiratory fitness. In multiple studies, there has been a strong negative correlation found between heart rate exercise, which is the last 30 to 60 seconds of the exercise, the average of the time of the duration, and then maximal fitness improvement. So for example, VO2 max, maximal aerobic speed, performance in time trials, for example, and lactate threshold. Intra-class correlation coefficient values of 0.8 are a norm, and also values over 0.9 are likely to be seen, meaning that the test-retest reliability and is excellent, and the test produces highly consistent results. So submaximal fitness test is reliable and valid tool to assess improvements in cardiorespiratory fitness. The second thing is that you can use it without exposing the athletes to too much fatigue. So, for example, in season, you don't want to end up in a situation like my colleague Ville on the right, where your athletes are completely exhausted, and that then impairs the training and the recovery and also the performance in season. So submaximal fitness testing can be easily repeated regularly without compromising on training and recovery. And as I said, it's essential during in-season periods. Third thing is that it's efficient use of time and resources. It can be done as a part of the warm-up, making it very time efficient and easy to implement. And the fourth point is that it can be, for example, used in rehab monitoring. So as athletes are returning from injury, submaximal fitness testing provides a safe way to assess their progress. So reliable, valid, no fatigue, efficient time use, and efficient use of resources. Those are the main points of submaximal fitness test benefits. Then I'm asking you the second question, which is that how often are you doing submaximal fitness testing? So how often you conduct submaximal fitness test with your team? Once a week or more, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, or never? 8% are doing it once a week or more. Then 4% are doing it bi-weekly, then 36% are doing it monthly, 36% quarterly, and 16% never. So quite rarely, I would say, from these results. But let's see. Next, I'm going to go through some protocol guidelines and examples on how to conduct the actual test itself. And these guidelines have been collected from the meta-analysis from Shushan et al. And from our own research and from our database over the last 20 years. First thing is that when you are designing a submaximal fitness test is of course to design the duration of the test. And protocol duration of 3 to 4 minutes plus 1 minute of heart rate recovery period have the strongest theoretical and empirical rationale. So that's a quite short period, which is easy to implement in daily monitoring. From that test, you collect the 30 to 60 second heart rate exercise. So the last 30 to 60 seconds of the test, and take the average plus then the heart rate recovery period and value. Exercise intensity does not appear to meaningfully affect heart rate exercise validity or reliability, meaning that you have more freedom to design the actual test itself so that it fits your sport and your level, your facility. We recommend to use fixed intensities that serve the training purpose, and those should be easily repeatable over time. And the best way is to integrate them into the warm-up. Running speed between 10 to 14 kilometers per hour, depending on the level and sport, appear to be reasonable. They are likely to elicit 75 to 85% of heart rate max in all team members. Prefer long shuttles to minimize change of direction, as it will add neuromuscular load and to keep the pace easily. Each change of direction will have an effect on the pace, so the fewer the change of direction, the more easier it's to keep the pace. Check data quality for possible outliers. That's enormously important as you are making decisions based on the data. So you want to make sure that the data is really reliable, and then there is no error, and you can make the right choices with the data without making mistakes. By implementing it to warm-up, you should be able to do it at least 1 to 4 times a month. And so most answers were doing it monthly, so that's 1 time a month, but maybe even frequently with our solution. Then we have some examples for different sports. So we have soccer, basketball, and ice hockey. And firstly, I'm going to go through to the soccer example. So here we are using the width of the soccer field, so 68 meters, and a duration of 4 minutes plus 1 minute of heart rate recovery. We have 3 different levels for different athletes. So we have fast, moderate, and slow pace. And now in the fast pace, you run the shuttles 13 times, which makes a pace of 18.5 seconds per 68 meters. And that's roughly 14.7 kilometers per hour if you take into account that the change of direction lasts approximately 0.7 seconds according to Boucher. So that's for high level athletes, a high pace. Then we have a moderate pace where you do the shuttles 12 times. So the pace is 20 seconds per 68 meters, and that's roughly 12 kilometers per hour. And here, for example, how you design it is that you make an audio or then just use your whistle. So you just blow the whistle every 20 seconds to keep the pace right. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, and so on. And so you can conduct the test very easily. Or then a slow pace where the pace per shuttle is 24 seconds. And of course, you can use the middle of the pitch as another marker. So, for example, in the slow case, you should be in the middle in 12 seconds or every 24 seconds. But if you start from the sideline, then you should be there in 12 seconds. So those are examples for soccer. Let's move on to basketball. And in basketball, you should use or could use the length of the court. Again, use the duration 4 minutes plus 1 minute of heart rate recovery. And here we have two examples. So a fast one and a slow one. And here the distance would be then 28 meters times 30, which will give you a pace of 8 seconds per 28 meters. So that's again roughly 14 kilometers per hour, or then a slow pace, which is 10 seconds per 28 meters. Then we move on to ice hockey. We have again the same duration of 4 minutes plus 1 minute of heart rate recovery. Either you can take a fixed intensity on the exercise bike, so every athlete would do the same watts, for example, in this case 200, but here you have to consider that the fixed watts are not comparable between athletes. So if you want to compare athletes, you need to use watt per kilogram, because for example, an athlete with 100 kilo and much more muscle mass than 75 kilo athlete, the external load of 200 watt will be much more easier, and there you can't compare the internal reactions to the same external load. And of course, always remember to standardize the bike settings, as those will affect then the results. If you are wondering what type of submaximal fitness test would fit your situation the best, please get in contact with us and we can assess your team's individual situation by taking into account facilities, sports level, and of course your training and game schedule. So these are examples. It depends always on your individual situation, and we are happy to have a look on it with you. Okay, let's on to the actual feature itself. First thing is that it's designed in a way that it's very quick and easy to implement in any kind of setting. So first thing is that you can use your own custom protocol. So if you have been doing, as most of you have according to the ball fitness test, you can use the same protocol that you have been using, but just use our analysis and the lapping of the data. It's quick and easy to implement, so you can easily perform the test for a large group of athletes. There's a streamlined process. You can save your time with automatic result analysis and reporting. There's the automatic heart rate recovery and set score analysis. And in the end, you will get actionable results, easily compare the result history and spot outliers from the data. Is this a meaningful test result, and limit the test result error with data quality notification. So that's also important to take into account when doing decisions based on the data. Let's have a look how the data is then identified or lapped. So you can easily identify the test period with the feature. You don't need to know the exact start time. You can use the movement intensity to identify the start time. So here, for example, the test has been as a part of the warm-up. So here you see the whole measurement in black, and then we have selected the test period, and more precisely, you can here on the movement intensity graph clearly see at which time point on which second the test started. So you don't need to know the start time itself. You don't need to look on your watch when you are starting the test itself. You just look at the data and you have it there. And for example, if multiple athletes are doing the test, but they are starting at different time points, some is starting 10 seconds later or 5 minutes later or whatever, they are doing it individually in a rehab setting or whatever, you don't need to know the start time. Just have a look at the movement intensity and you will see that when the test itself actually started. Then here in green, you see the automatic heart rate recovery period. So it will automatically detect the heart rate recovery after the test is ended. And then, of course, it's adjustable on second basis, which is always crucial when doing testing, that you have to be precise. Okay, let's move on to the report itself. So I will go through the report on a section basis. starting from the top. So on the top, we have the report overview where we have the name of the team, then name of the test itself. We have the type on how the test has been done. So here is it sport. It could be indoor cycling, or it could be the sport itself when you are doing some standardized passing drill or small-sided game, if you like to use those. Then the number of athletes, date, duration of the test, and then this is fitness test report, and then you have the notes section. So it gives you a basic overview of the test. Then we have the team summary section, which gives you a quick overview of the test of the whole team, and there's fast and easy to check the result and changes. And if heart rate recovery period is included in the test protocol, both test and heart rate recovery data is available, so you can use 2 data points instead of 1. So for example, for ball craven, we have a test result of 88.6, and that's 6.2 percentage points lower than last time in the test. And then the same for heart rate recovery as well. And we are using peak 60-second heart rate max, and that's the highest 60-second period average heart rate. So it's not the last 60 seconds, but it's the highest 60-second period average heart rate. And that minimizes error in data collection if the last 60 seconds is not the highest in that test. So for example, if an athlete is ending the test too quickly, or there's something else wrong with the test itself. And the gliding calculation window for peak heart rate and for heart rate recovery will allow also more tolerance in setting up the start and end time of the test for each player, making the workflow much faster for the coach. Then we have the comparison chart, and the chart you can inspect for possible problems in test execution. Did all athletes reach the highest point of heart rate at the end of the test? So for example, in this test, it's not the case. The red athlete hasn't received the highest heart rate at the end of the test. So that's a problem for result analysis. If we would only now take into account that, okay, we take the last 60 seconds of this test and analyze the results would be much better for these athletes compared to the previous results, because his internal reactions at the last 60 seconds were probably lower because he stopped the test too early or slowed down. And also from the heart rate chart, we can see that did someone start the test too fast, or the heart rate is not responding fast enough, or is there something unusual with the data quality. Then in the last section, we have the athlete ranking view, where you can drill down to the details of each athlete. It shows you the history and trends for each athlete, and you can also select your own variables that you want to have visible on your report. It shows you the score of today, and it shows you also the JET score and the absolute difference to the historical mean. Let's have a look. Probably all of you are not so familiar with the JET score, or also as known as the standard score. So the JET score indicates how many standard deviation the athlete's result is from their personal historical average. It provides a standardized way to assess how unusual or typical the result is compared to the athlete's own past performance. So it always takes into account the athlete's historical data and the standard deviation from the data and the result, so you can see that how unusual or how typical this kind of result is for this athlete. And there we have some baselines, so within 1 standard deviation and above or below 1 to 2 standard deviation, and then clearly above 2 standard deviation are marked on different colors on the chart itself. And then there's the absolute difference, which then represent, for example, in this case, it's the percentage points, or it could be, for example, beats per minute. So let's say that could be 5 beats per minute change to the historical average. So difference to the historical average. So that were the 4 sections of the report itself. It gives you a detailed look and a general overview of the test itself. On based, you can then make your decisions for further trainings. Then let's have a look at that summary of the fitness test. So you can use your own custom protocol. If you have been using some kind of submaximal fitness test, you can use it with this feature as well. It's time-saving and easy. Perform the test easily for a large group of athletes. There's automatic calculation of heart rate exercise and heart rate recovery. So you can use more than one data point to make your decisions. You can easily spot outliers and changes to history. You can compare the heart rate charts on athlete level and drill down to the details and inspect differences in the heart rate charts. If there's something abnormal, then there's automatic reporting, which again speed ups your workflow. And lastly, monitor data quality to make sure that the results are reliable and you don't make any wrong decisions based on the data. If you are interested, you can ask for a special early bird offer at sports@firstbeat.com. I will also launch the last question. So would you like to have a personal demo about this feature? Yes, please, not relevant at the moment. Please also answer it. And at the same time, I will have a look at your questions. There are some perfect. I will still give you, or I will leave the poll open at the same time. And the first question is that our team is doing already a 30-15 intermittent fitness test. Can we use it with the fitness test? Yes, as said before, you can use any kind of custom or any kind of testing that you have been doing with your team with the new fitness test feature. Then will other metrics be available? Yes, so on the report itself, there were only the heart rate exercise and heart rate recovery, so all other metrics will be also available on the report itself. And then the third is that can you take a look at the metrics in real time? Yes, it's possible to also have a look at the metrics in real time, also in a chart view with the premium feature. It's also available for individual users with premium. But if you are interested, ask for an early bird offer. And the next time we will meet in the weekly training planning webinar, based on physiological data in approximately 1 month on the 17th of June. And hopefully I will see you there, and here you have some references for reading. Thanks everybody, and take care.